Hey, there we are. First show of 2026, Dale, and always starts off a little bit crazy here at the new year. Nothing works properly. You let people borrow some of your stuff. Nothing gets put back the way it's supposed to be, but we are here, Dale. January 5th, 2026, everybody. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and you know him as 17-year NFL veteran, three-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys. Dale Hellestrae's here, everybody.
Good morning, Stephen. I kind of wondered as I drove in this morning, did the McCollums make it back? Did they stay in Roswell, New Mexico? Did they get lost in the white sand?
Abducted by aliens.
And did they fall in the caverns?
I almost fell in the cavern.
Or did they get stuck in El Paso having a good time?
We went to El Paso twice. It was such a good city.
Really? I'm excited.
El Paso gets a lot of crap from people like Dale. But it actually is a really neat city. It's a beautiful city.
A lot of heritage.
Very much so. Fort Bliss is there, if you don't know. Second largest, I think. It's either the largest or second largest Army base, like in the whole United States. It's a big deal. A big part of their community. It's a nice little town. Mexican food is awesome there and everything. So it takes a lot of crap. Now, I understand going from Phoenix to El Paso, you're going down multiple steps of big city. So I can understand people poo-pooing it, but it is a nice place to.
So how does El Paso compare to Tucson?
Way better. Way better.
Oh, really?
Smells nicer.
Okay.
Smells nicer.
Wow.
Looks better. More grass.
So how was your vacation? You were out and about, followed you on Facebook.
Well, followed Autumn. Followed Autumn because she posts everything.
First of all, why can't Annie McCollum smile?
We do smile.
No, you don't smile. And I know you go 1, 2, 3.
No, so this is how pictures go with Miss Autumn. Let's get a picture real quick. And none of us are ready for it. We're all like doing our own thing. We're all spread out. Hey, get over here. So then you get there and then she's all, okay, let's go. You don't have time to like do anything to get ready for it. You're lucky there's a smile. Normally you're all.
Do you, like my daughters, have any say in what picture gets posted?
No. That's the funny thing about it. There'll be like 30 pictures taken. The one I've noticed, the ones that get posted are the ones that she looks good.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what anybody else looks like.
It's like our Christmas card pictures. It's like, do I get any say? Dad, we don't care how you look.
I used to have a thing, like if I take pictures with people, I'd be like, I have to approve it before you post it. Meaning I have to see it and say it's a good picture of me before you post it. But I don't have a say in any of that. That's why you generally get those looks with us as we go into it. Yeah.
Okay.
We all had smiles on. It just no teeth was showing.
No, show some teeth, McCollums.
Our teeth are too good. We like to show them off.
Jeez.
We like to show them off. But yeah, no, it was funny. I know you're the only one that comments on that. Everybody else was like, "Oh, nice picture, nice picture."
So you left. So we were done last Tuesday.
Boom, it's gone on the freeway out of here
on Tuesday.
We literally hopped on I-10. We stopped. I don't remember. We stopped for lunch and everything. I don't remember where we stopped at. Oh no, actually, me and Ethan just drove straight down to Tucson. Met up with them down at I-10. We just followed each other, two separate cars, and boom, took off.
Okay.
Yeah. Stopped in Tucson for gas and just kept going. Ding, rolled into El Paso. I don't know, 7:00 or so, 7:30. That is just the worst drive on the planet, man.
Now El Paso, time doesn't change in El Paso, does it?
Yeah, no, because it's right in the middle of New Mexico.
Yeah.
So no, it's same time frame.
Okay.
Yeah, same time. I don't know when it actually changes, but it's later on.
Right.
I can tell you that. So we pulled into town, checked into the hotel. Everybody was like, whatever. It's got a Hilton there right on the UTEP campus. So we were half a mile from the stadium. We didn't have to deal with parking for the game. Thought about you on that.
Yeah.
And as we're walking by everybody trying to find parking on the hills, it's like one road in and one road out.
Yeah.
With a mountain there. We didn't have to deal with any of that. Just walked it. Perfect. No problem.
How's the ankle on the walk?
So I was worried about that walk. So the cave I've been preparing for. I had like all these compression socks and ankles, and I was like, I'm going to stretch well and everything. Those mountains, though, man, they'll get you. They'll get you. Wasn't too bad. The weather was nice. I was more worried about the weather.
Yeah.
Because when it's colder, you know this, as an old guy with, pro football injuries. And I'm just an old guy that's fat and lazy. The colder it is, the more your joints don't work very well.
Or the more they hurt.
Yes. And that was what I was worried about. The weather forecast said possible rain, cold, windy, none of that. Perfect weather.
Looked like 60 degrees.
Perfect weather there. It was mid-50s.
Okay.
Sun was out. Actually, I had to take your jackets off at the game. It was kind of warm at times during the game. Then second half, the wind kind of picked up, but it wasn't like chilly or anything. So it was perfect. Didn't have to worry about that at all.
Looked like there were quite a few people at the game.
It filled out really nice. At the beginning, it was like, this stadium's half full.
Right.
No, it filled out nice.
Good.
Yeah, a lot of ASU fans there. I was surprised. And then a lot of Duke fans were there. But I was telling, we went to dinner afterwards, and a lot of Duke fans were in there as well. And then everybody's like, why did Duke come all the way to El Paso? And it's like, you forget, man, for North Carolina people, El Paso's like, heritage and stuff, I'm like, I joked around saying they're probably buying a bunch of turquoise and taking it back and stuff like that. Like, that's a different experience for them because they come from the tall trees and grassy areas, come out here to the desert. It's a different experience for them there. So it was kind of funny watching them. To us, it was just like, El Paso. Like you said, El Paso is very similar to Tucson. That's how I would rate them.
Yeah.
In terms of looks, feel, small town feel kind of a deal. And everything. So for us, it was just like, yeah, we're in El Paso, whatever. But for them, they were all just like, oh my God. It was so great to watch. So it was good. The game ended up being fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, ASU lost, right? High scoring affair. Defense was suspect at times. We sat 11 rows from the field. Sam Leverett very pissed off at the Sun Devils because this team, I'm just going to say it again. This team, the players that weren't playing, the young freshman, what's his name? Iya, whatever his name is, 14. He said he's coming back. He didn't get any playing time this year. Watching the team on the sideline sitting that close, this is a close-knit team. This is a coaching staff. Hines Ward was getting into it with people, meaning having fun with them, etc. Even after Moss fumbled, there was camaraderie there and everything. This team is close-knit. This team is well close-knit. This team likes each other. This team is very loyal to each other. And yet one guy continues to be missing, Dale. That's what I came away with that. It wasn't that Sam Levitt wasn't there. It was that this team is close. This is a team that was at a Sun Bowl. They could have slacked off. Jordan Tyson was running up and down the sideline celebrating with people.
Right.
Watch the videos when they jump in the Frosted Flakes. There's players that aren't even dressed for the game jumping in there celebrating with them and stuff to that effect. You don't see that in bowl games very often.
No, especially the lower tier bowl game.
I mean, Duke was into the game, but they weren't celebrating like that to that same extent. And that one guy's still missing, Dale. Just has no desire to be around the team.
He only got a couple million from ASU.
He got there's something went down. We've speculated here on what's went down. I'm seeing other people kind of come to that conclusion.
That's what I was going to say over the weekend.
Yeah.
I saw some other people coming up. Here's what I think.
Yeah.
Now, nobody knows.
No, and will we ever know?
No, probably not. I think it was two people in that room.
It's not ASU's benefit to let it out.
No, I think there were two people in that room, so there wasn't loose lips.
Yes.
And what was said. And I still, the more I think about it, the more I think that Dillingham told him, no, we're ready to move on.
Now, but it could be two reasons why. That's where I hesitate on the something happened to where the Levitt camp is like, you know what, screw you then, right? We're not going to support you anymore. Now it could just be as simple as, hey, we'd love to come back, but we want $5 million a year, and ASU's like, no, we're not doing that. That's one no.
Right.
But then there's, hey, you hurt yourself playing basketball in the middle of our season, and it cost us the rest of the season. We're looking, what does Dillingham always say? We want players that want to be here.
Right.
He said it after the game as well. He said, we need to recruit guys that love to play football. I'm telling you guys, everybody on that sideline at the Sun Bowl loves playing football and loves being part of this team. I'm just telling you guys, the trainers were into this. It was just a different vibe for a bowl game. And Kenny Dillingham afterwards said what he said, in terms of we need players that want to be here, players that want to play football. I think it's all a message for one character there, and that's why it's not good for ASU to let it out that that's what they did was they chose the wrong guy who kind of got an ego or whatever. And then here's on top of it, Dale. He goes into the transfer portal on January 2nd.
Yep.
You're like, oh, he's that good. He's got a place to go. No, he doesn't. He's visiting Kentucky.
And LSU.
Yeah, but Kentucky was his first stop, and Texas Tech, reportedly.
But Texas Tech already got their
Yeah,
quarterback.
they went with somebody else.
Yeah.
Now, could his injury be hurting him? But this is the other thing, coming off of an injury, that's what I thought all along. Don't you roll it back if you have an injury? He's not going to end up at a top-tier school. No,
yeah,
LSU
because,
is
so
different deal.
some of the stuff that not just you, but other people had kind of surmised was, well, he wanted to have a place where he could showcase himself, get pass protection from the offensive line, have wide receivers that can catch the ball. And Kentucky?
Yeah, Kentucky? Their sophomore is coming to ASU.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why is because now Kentucky does have a new head coach going into this year, so
Right.
that's something to do with it as well. But yeah, it's just there's a lot of interesting things. Even if you go to LSU, Jaden Daniels got the snot kicked out of him at LSU. Now that was different coach, different stuff like that. But it's just if you add it all up, man, the Leavitt camp isn't happy.
Right.
They're not happy. In terms of coming back to ASU, that door, and to me that door is closed. I say this: if whatever the conversation was what we know Dillingham talks to people about, that door would be open for him to come back. I believe that door is 1,000% closed.
And don't you think that it was closed the day of the banquet?
I think it was closed before the day of the banquet.
But do you think the
Yeah,
finality
that was the
of it
final
was?
one. Yeah.
Because that's the only thing we heard was they met for a couple hours the day of the banquet.
Yeah.
And then you no-show the banquet.
Yep. And then you go back to the injury question marks where they had to defend him. And then you heard Versini and everybody say, it's not financial reasons he wants to leave. Well, what other reasons are there?
Right.
Then you heard the rumors that he wants more protection and stuff to that effect. I'm just saying, it was fascinating. Now, because normally for a regular ASU games, I sit higher up, and I could see the sidelines, but I mean, you could hear everything they were saying. We were 10 rows from the field, if that. And everything, yeah, something went down with Sam Leavitt and this team.
Well, I
could not be there for his teammates who were all there celebrating with everybody.
Right.
I mean, Jordan Tyson, I'm not kidding you guys. I watched Jordan Tyson run 40 yards down the sideline to go celebrate with Sims on that big touchdown run in the end zone.
Those hamstrings look good.
Well, in that instance, it did.
Yeah.
It's just not. I don't know if he was a full sprint, but. These guys love being around each other.
Yeah.
And they're all there except for one guy. No, Sam Leavitt, you don't know. He might still be not walking and stuff to that effect. But if you go into the transfer portal, you have a plan. And if you're as good as Sam Leavitt could be, school should have snatched him up by now. Is the injury holding him back? Or is there something else holding them back?
You would think that
Money
with as much pomp and circumstance as he had around him, that he'd go kind of like in NFL, because this is what it is now. It's like NFL free agency.
Yeah.
The main characters go quickly.
Well, so this sophomore kid from Kentucky that committed to ASU,
Yeah.
he didn't go travel around to 4 different schools.
Nope.
He was like, hey, ASU, I'm committed to you. Let's go.
And I would think that his camp would say, here's about what we're looking for.
That'll happen. That'll happen before the portal.
Yeah. No, well, I would think it'd be before you make a trip.
Well, that's my point, yeah. Did he even make a trip here? Or was it just, I'm just signing here?
But I'm sure they had a conversation on the phone saying, here's what we can offer you. And if it's, if you're Sam Leavitt and you're looking for $3 million and all you're getting offered is $1 million, well, you're not going to get on a plane and go visit that place until maybe a week or two from now.
Yeah. Well, when you have no other options.
Yeah.
So it could be injury day. That's the thing. There are enough unknowns that, to speculate completely what I'm insinuating is not necessarily fair to anybody.
But if he's
it's
still
leading that way.
If he's still hurt, if he's still injured, and that's still affecting him, How can him or his camp believe that somebody's going to take a chance on him? Because this thing happened back in October, early October.
Oh yeah, they claimed it was the Baylor game, but then remember after the bye
Yeah.
week was when it manifested itself. Well, here's my thing. Okay, these are I don't know his brother at all, but I'm assuming they're smart people. They're getting advice from professionals, right? Agencies out there on what to do. If you're that hurt, you don't. It's like when the NFL, Dale. You don't want to get hurt on that last year of the deal because that's going to affect your deal. No matter what the injury is, it's going to affect what you sign and where you sign at.
Yes.
So to go into this with major foot surgery or whatever his problem was, major foot surgery, and all this time later, and then insist you're going into the portal and do all of this stuff without kind of being pushed. That's the deep, dark secret about the portal that people don't know. Most of the kids in the portal, they were told to go into the portal. You ain't playing here. You ain't playing here. Get out of here. The Texas kid that's coming here, the cornerback, Texas was like, you're not going to play here, so look elsewhere.
Over 4,000 college athletes in the portal.
So there's there's technically like 7,000, but because I said that number earlier, but that includes what's that next step down? Not community college kids,
or 1AA.
1AA. It includes all of those kids to get to that number. But yeah, Division I. How many did you say? 2,400, something like that.
4,200.
4,200. Yeah. And if you're one of the best, you ain't shopping yourself around. You ain't visiting Kentucky and then going to LSU later on. You're not doing all of that stuff if you're one of the best kids out there. You're not, especially at a quarterback.
No doubt about it.
You're not doing it. There's something weird about the situation. That's all I'm presenting to you. I'm giving you options, something weird, and then Kenny just keeps saying, we want kids that want to be here.
Yeah.
We want kids that love the game of football.
That Baylor game was the fourth game of the season. So it was either late September or the first week of October.
And then he played TCU, and then he had that humongous fourth quarter where he was running all over the place. Didn't look injured in that. And then the bye week, right? And then he came back on that after that bye week and was in a walking boot and had to miss that next game in Utah and all of that stuff. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, Kyler Murray's been out for 17 months with a foot injury also.
17 weeks.
Yeah, the difference is, though, Kyler Murray never had surgery in a walking boot or anything.
He got hit in the face mask.
And Sam Levitt, at least, is there. It's just weird. That was my striking takeaway. One, ASU has a bunch of young kids that are going to be fantastic. Just heartbreaking, man. That Jeff Sims had one heck of a senior game there, last game of the year. Throws the interception at the end. The kid running back, wasn't Robinson, the other kid, 22, I think it was, had a heck of a game. They both had a heck of a game, fumbles it, and all you have to do is run out the clock. Just terrible way to end it. But that was fun, man. Even the Duke guys were fun to watch. That game got chippy at times. It was fun. It was a fun game to be at, Dale. You gave me a lot of crap for going to that thing, but it was a fun game. I'm glad I went.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't necessarily going to the game. Although I was thinking about when you were talking. I've been to that particular stadium.
Yeah.
Played one time, I think, when I was a sophomore at SMU. We played UTEP there. Then obviously the stinking Sun Bowl my junior year. And then we had two scrimmages, the Cowboys and the Raiders scrimmage there back when I was playing with the Cowboys.
Ooh, really?
And so I'm trying to think of the last time I enjoyed being at, I think it's called Sun Bowl all year round. But
the stadium is the Sun Bowl. Yeah. Like people think it's just, no, that's literally what it's called.
The name of the stadium.
Because people are like, what's that stadium called? How do I find it on the map? And you go, Sun Bowl. And they're like, oh, no, what's it called regularly? The Sun Bowl.
So what I'm more excited to find out is, that's you spend the night, you drive in, spend the night, have a nice dinner, you go to the Sun Bowl, you spend the next that night after the game in El Paso, or do you get in a car and go to Las Cruces?
Yeah, so Las Cruces doesn't have a lot going on.
Oh, I know.
So I looked. I mean, I knew we weren't going to do fireworks or nothing. Everybody was tired from the drive, and we had a couple big days coming up. But I looked. I just looked out of curiosity, like, where's the big fireworks at? No,
right.
It's like, man, whatever. UTEP is a beautiful campus. Let's just but it looks like everything else in El Paso. You go to Las Cruces there with New Mexico State, and it's you could tell you're on a college town there.
Okay.
Like we stayed on campus, and it didn't feel like we were on campus. It was weird.
You
Yeah.
stayed on campus at UTEP.
At UTEP, yeah. Literally, there's not. Only reason we had to walk half a mile was there was a mountain between us and the stadium, and I wasn't going to scale that thing. So we had to walk around it a little bit to get there. Yeah, but no, that's the thing. I mean, we were out of there right away. I mean, it was like, all right, next morning, it was like, all right, see ya, phew, out of here. So we did that. Yeah, then we drove up to White Sands, which cracks me up, man, because there's a lot of people there. We got there early, thank goodness, because when we left, the line was like down the highway to get into the place.
Really? And it's not a driving tour? I've been there once.
Well, you
but
could
I can't
drive.
remember.
It's a scenic drive. It's like, I don't know, 8 miles of driving, but it's all sand, But you get out, you rent the sleds in the visitor center, and you wax them all up, and you go down them. The problem is, though, like, people are always like, oh, man, we spent the day at White. And I'm like, how did you spend the day there? 2.5 hours, you're done. You're ready to go. You've slid down these sands enough, hiked up the mountains. You're tired. You've walked all through the sand like Star Trek.
They don't have escalators taking you to where you need to go?
Yeah, I went to all the easy slopes to get up there. There is video. Maybe I'll have to get it ready. There is video of me sliding down one of them.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a pretty sight, but I couldn't stand up after I got down to the bottom.
Ooh.
I couldn't get out of the saucer.
Ooh.
My knees and hips were killing me at that point, and everything. And but I mean, it's a fun time. And weather was perfect. It was hot. I had my jacket on. I was sweating. I was like, "Holy cow!" Just that sun beating down on you. It's fun for the kids. It's fun to see. And I guess you can spend all day there. It's just, I don't know how you can. But our plan was then we left there and drove over to Roswell and pulled into town so we could visit the aliens and everything.
Did you spend the night in Roswell?
In Roswell, yeah.
You guys sleep all right that night?
Yeah, well, except for the abduction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still haven't felt right since.
You think they abducted you, put something in your brain,
Yeah,
and brought you back?
Something in my throat. I've been coughing up a weird green fungus lately.
So what was that like? I've never done.
Roswell's just a small town, alien themed, like the McDonald's. You saw Adam's pictures.
Yeah.
But for those of you that don't know, I even said, we got to go to the McDonald's in Roswell tomorrow because it's like a UFO shaped one. All the everybody has aliens everywhere, holding up signs and stuff. The light posts have alien heads on them. It's that type of. It's just a small dinky town. But the International UFO Museum is there. You got to go visit that. It's cheap. It's fun. But my favorite part is, so if you don't know, 1947 or whatever, supposedly an alien ship crash landed in Roswell. Of all places, Roswell, New Mexico in 1947, Dale. And that's where the aliens landed.
So you're saying the aliens aren't the smartest?
Also, yeah, exactly. That's my thing. I was like, really? That's where they went? And also, that was 2 or 3 years after the first nuclear test as well. So yeah, okay. What a coincidence. That's how they say the aliens went there, was because they saw the energy released, from the nuclear bomb. They wanted to check it out or whatever. So they flew thousands of miles to crash land in Roswell, New Mexico. But my favorite part about it is they call it the incident, the Roswell incident. To me, an incident is you rear-ended somebody, or you bumped into somebody someplace. That's an incident. Not an alien crashing and the huge government cover-up.
Okay, Dave.
Well, tune into The Real Matrix. Coming back this week. So it's fun. And they have pictures and, statues, and they talk about, we've had a couple famous UFO stuff happen here in Arizona back in the day. Snowflake, one guy, there's a movie made on that one. The Phoenix Lights, of course, and everything. So we did that. We did that in the morning. Yeah.
And then?
Drove down to Carlsbad Caverns.
Like, how far are we talking from?
A couple hours.
A couple hours?
Yeah. So White Sands was like an hour and a half from El Paso. Then it was like 2 hours roughly to Roswell from there. And then it's like, it's 2 hours from Roswell to Carlsbad Caverns. And then it's like 3 hours to get back to El Paso. That's how much driving we were doing. Then we stayed overnight in El Paso again and then drove home Saturday. a lot of driving. Ethan drove the whole trip, though. Giving him props. The whole trip. I didn't get behind the wheel
Really?
once.
No
Yeah.
tickets?
No tickets. He does crack me up, though, man. I said it at 85. I'm like, all right. See what happens.
Well, it's 75 in New Mexico and Texas, right?
No, Texas drops down to 65.
Oh, well, El Paso, you're in a
So
city.
I think you're in a city.
Yeah.
New El Paso, yeah. And everything. But I mean, it's different driving there. El Paso's freeway system's completely different than what we're used to. Other than that, you're on I-10,
Right.
just straight flat land.
Yeah.
You can go through that. But yeah. So that was a trip. It was fun. It was exhausting. It was fun. We did. I last time we were there, 2019 was the last time ASU was there, and we went to the Sun Bowl that year. First year of Tony the Tiger. I'm disappointed they don't give away free Frosted Flakes there. You should just get a box of them when you walk in automatically. Like the Cheez-It Bowl when it was here did all that as well, and everything. And back when it was here, it's just like, why not? Why don't you just give people free stuff, man? Come on, man. Come on.
And how was the amenities at the Sun Bowl? Did everybody treat you? Security treat you nice?
Oh yeah, no incidences whatsoever.
Really?
We had some loudmouth sitting behind us.
ASU had loudmouth? Or
Yeah, no, it was ASU. We had some Duke people. So, if you don't know bowl games, they split it up on sides.
Right.
So if you buy tickets on the secondary markets, you have to be careful what side you pick. Otherwise, you end up like one year. I bought a ticket on the secondary market. Well, my dad bought us tickets. This is when ASU, I think it was the Rose Bowl year of '86, if I remember correctly. So I'm like 10. And my dad bought tickets so we could go to, and they were playing Cal, I think. It was somebody good. It was somebody that they had to beat to move on.
This wasn't the actual Rose Bowl.
No, this was yes. No, maybe it was the Rose Bowl. Anyway, I forget. But I plopped down. I was like 10, 11, and I am sitting by myself because we couldn't get tickets together. I'm like, I'll sit by myself, no big deal. I plopped down right in the middle of the most rabid fan base you've ever seen. And I, of course, wearing ASU stuff. I just sat there, though. Everybody was cool, but you got to be careful. So some Duke people plopped right down in front of us. It's like, all right. So they were kind of fun.
I would say Duke fans are probably well behaved.
Because they're snotty, man. It's a private school, uppity, rich people, kind of a deal. Like the people that sat by us at dinner, like you could tell, like they were doctors or something. The way because the one kid at the beginning of the game, I don't know what ended up happening to him, but I saw him go down. It was an Achilles or he blew something out major. He ended up getting carted off. They were talking about that at dinner, and they were talking like doctors. And I was like, those guys are probably doctors and went to Duke, and
right.
now they're heart surgeons or something. It was kind of funny listening to them talk all proper and like medical terms and everything. But yeah, I think that's a lot of. I think the younger Duke crowd might be a little bit, because they, second, third, fourth generation money or whatever, and grew up in that atmosphere. But everybody we experienced was a lot of fun. But yeah, Sun Bowl's beautiful. Like even last time with the scooter, they were nice about it, but they were like, they let us put the scooter where out of the way and stuff like that stuff. And they've always been nice there. It's El Paso. I'm telling you, it's a great place to do stuff and everything.
Okay.
Although a lot of beach balls and stuff in the crowd, which I don't mind. I don't care. But they started popping them. And that's just stupid. That's just stupid when they start popping them. Some old ladies, some grumpy old lady, probably got her kids coal for Christmas, grandkids coal for Christmas.
Wow.
Popping the balloons. Boom, boom. Robert says, did you tip your driver? No, he makes enough money off me.
Did you get an allowance growing up?
I got an allowance, but I had to do chores and stuff to get it.
See, my parents never gave me a allowance. They just said that's part of your deal.
Really?
Cutting the grass and leaves and
really.
And then when I get in trouble, I have to go weed eat
that
grass
was
behind the fence in the alley.
But that's the way I am with my kids. I'm like, you got to clean your room, which they should do anyway. And then I'm like, I'll give you, but I'm giving them the money anyway for something. It's just a way to make it seem like I'm making them do something that I'm going to give them money for. I'm going to give it to them anyway so they can buy something. I might as well at least pretend that I have a power play involved. So it was a good trip. It was a long trip. Yesterday was just recovering. I was going to boycott the Cardinals game yesterday, but I was just getting laundry done and cleaning around, getting the house and getting caught up on stuff and everything, and so I just had it on, But yeah, it's just recovery. Then back here today again. So that was our January 1st holiday.
Sounds like
plans.
fun.
What'd you do? That was Frank Caliendo.
Frank Caliendo was very, very good.
Is he mainly just impressions? Because I don't find the impression stuff funny.
Oh, he's very entertaining. I mean, when you can have a conversation between Biden and Trump,
and it's one person,
and then slip in a little George Bush,
okay,
and then follow up with a little bit of Bill Clinton.
All right.
No, it was very, very entertaining. I always get a kick out of him. He did very little sports. He's kind of known for Gruden and Madden, which is what kind of put him on the map.
I heard him recently. I don't know what show I heard him on. I heard him recently talking about Madden. Like, people don't know who Madden is anymore.
No, that's the thing. It's
us old
older.
People know, but I mean, like Ethan doesn't know Madden. Madden was retired in the booth as long as Ethan's been on this earth. Let alone he knows it from the football game.
Right. That's kind of how you know. It does.
But you don't remember the old boom and boom.
Yeah.
Tough acting, connecting. Connecting with Ace Hardware and stuff.
Right.
That's the problem. You kind of have to retire that stuff. Is it?
As people get older. Yeah, so we did that, went back to our house. My nephew had found these American.
What was the crowd like at Caliendo? You went to, he did his shows earlier. I did see another comedian that I enjoy. I saw him on one of his posts, on Facebook, whatever. And he did like a thing going into midnight, to kind of make it fun. But that crowd, you could tell, that crowd wasn't really into what he was saying up there around midnight time. So Frank does it. If you don't know, Caliendo does his shows earlier so you can get out of there and enjoy your New Year's, and he doesn't have to worry about people not paying attention.
Right.
So how was the crowd?
He did. The crowd was jam-packed. The crowd was into it. And what I've found since I've been doing some comedy shows lately, Brooke and I, the fact that a lot of times a warm-up act or acts is not very funny.
Well, because they're new or they're working.
Right.
The host is usually like me up there, like I'm going to try to be a comedian.
Yeah.
That's usually what it turns out.
And doesn't come out real well.
Yeah.
But his warm-up act was really funny. He only had one.
Usually when you get up to Frank Caliendo's level, you're getting people that have been doing it a long time. Mm-hmm. You're not getting the new people. Like the one we went to with oh my gosh, I just forgot his name. That was on our show. Sorry, man, I forgot your name for a second. But he's not getting a guy that that has been on the circuit for 20 years trying to make it. He's giving him a chance, whereas Caliendo does that.
Right, right. And that might be the last one that we saw, and I did not really care for him.
Corio. There you go.
Paul Corio.
Yes.
Okay. But the show started at 6. The first guy was on for about 15, 20 minutes, and then Caliendo came on. We were out of there about 7:45.
What did he do, an hour? And 45 minutes?
I'd say an hour and a half, maybe, hour 25 minutes.
I hear him on shows, and I hear people like every once in a while he's on Wolf and Luke, which I catch every once in a while, and I'll just see him on. And he's just doing his impressions, and just Wolf's just ho 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 ho. Then you see him on the news channel, and they're just talking in another voice, and people are like ho 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 ho. They can't get enough of it. And I'm like, this actually makes me not want to go see you.
Wow. You'd rather spend the night in El Paso. That's okay. I understand.
No, it's just, that's why I asked you if he's funny.
No,
what his set is like, because my impression is he just goes up there and does a impression and then goes in between impressions like he does when he does his news bits or whatever. And I know it's different. But that doesn't look entertaining to me is what I'm getting.
Everybody in our group enjoyed it. Had a good time. Got out of there, like I said, probably 7:30-ish.
Yeah.
Because his 2 shows were 6 and 8.
Still time to go. Did he spend time with people afterwards?
Went back to our house and.
Wait, did Caliendo spend time with people afterwards, or does he go back to his room?
I think he was out there.
I was just curious.
But I didn't even see him.
A lot of comedians they'll go to the, especially if they're up and coming, they'll go out to the lobby and
the up and comers will do that.
Caliendo's like, F you, I'm going to my room.
Well, he probably he had to come out in another 45 minutes. So anyway, enjoyed that. Went to our house. My nephews found these American Wagyu steaks at the Costco in Scottsdale,
Oh, okay.
and
American wagon?
Wagyu.
Oh, Wagyu.
Wagyu.
Oh.
And so we grilled
your
those.
nephew makes money, huh?
They're not that expensive. They're not Japanese Wagyu.
Oh, okay, that's the difference.
But
Wagyu's expensive.
They're pretty darn good. So we did that and probably got done eating by 10 o'clock and played some card games.
Leave it to America. American Wagyu is a premium beef from cattle crossbred with Japanese Wagyu and American breeds.
Yeah. Where we were talking about that. Well, what do you think Wagyu is? Well, they probably treat them gently.
They
tell them,
they massage them.
They tell them stories. They're raised with friends.
No, that's what they do. They massage them. They feed them the food at the right times. They make sure they don't get indigestion and all of that stuff. The cows are treated better than we are. That's how they come out all tender and everything.
It was whatever it is, whatever they do, it's good.
Yeah, so they're raised with low stress methods. I just happen to have it up here as well.
Yeah.
Low stress lives these cows have before they get slaughtered and stuff like that. Yeah.
So did that, then got done doing that, and just played some games.
What time were you asleep by?
We actually stayed up till like 1.
Really?
Well, Brooke went to bed right after midnight, but I played some card games and hung out. And
I'd be shocked if I made. What bowl game was that night?
It was the first playoff game.
Yeah, it was the good one. I did not see the end of that. I woke up the next day and was like, wait, who won that? Miami, Ohio State.
Yes.
Yeah, because Miami was up, and then if I caught the end of that, I'd be surprised.
I'm going to be fascinated by the way you said that is what the NFL ratings coming out today or tomorrow will be for Christmas Day.
They came out. I thought I saw them. Don't quote me on this because I was on, but I was sporadically on stuff. Because
they're all over the place. It was like Prime.
They beat the NBA by a large margin. No, I did see it because they beat NFL. Blew away the NBA ratings.
Really?
I did see it, yeah.
Wow, because one was on like Prime, one was on Netflix, one was on Paramount or whatever. It's like you had to literally go searching for them, and they wasn't even that great a slate of games.
No, the games weren't.
Yeah.
I don't remember how they ended up. That's the problem, man. Everything happened so fast that you're just like, what is it? We'll get into, of course, a lot of this with Bruce Cooper tomorrow as well. Robert says, low stress till they get butchered. Sounds good, though.
Yeah.
Hey, got to baby those guys before they have a purpose in life.
Well, they
right?
probably give them a shot to relax them before they get butchered.
Yeah, they don't get the needle in the forehead while they're watching it like they do other places and everything. Transfer portal, of course, is happening. We'll talk a lot about that over the next couple of days. I'll say this. I like the roster that ASU's filling behind. They have a lot of seniors. They need linemen. They need defensive linemen and stuff like that. But I like what they're doing. They're bringing in quality guys with high expectations. I find that interesting. Just kids want to come play for Kenny Dillingham. Kids except for one, Sam Levitt, want to come play for Kenny Dillingham.
Well, I think that's what the biggest thing he's got going for him is and we'll get into some of that other stuff, but the Indiana Hoosiers and that Coach Sig, my goodness.
And he doesn't look like he's a fun dude
no,
on the sideline,
he
does he?
Not. He does not.
I loved his look. His look became a meme.
Yeah.
Even Herb Street was like, I have a feeling we're going to be talking about that look a lot. And it's just like, I saw memes where it was like, me telling my dad I'm doing something. He doesn't seem like he's a fun dude, but the kids love playing for him.
You're telling your dad, hey, I'm a winner, Dad. Google me.
Your dad's like, I used to beat your butt when you misbehave. Don't tell me what you are. It's fascinating to see. So let's first hour, just have some fun here on the first show of 2026. But we do have some sports to talk here as well. Including. Hey, Arizona fans, how do you like driving all the way to San Diego for that meaningless bowl game that your team decided not to show up for? How'd that work out for you? At least you went to San Diego.
Yeah, I'm going the opposite. I'm going, how about my Phoenix Suns?
Well, we got them on the list here as well. Forget about last night. Suns finished 20-25. I know they got blown out by Cleveland, but their record. They're on pace for doing special things this year. You don't expect anything to change here coming up, so we'll talk to them as well. Of course, it's not a good day if you're an NFL head coach. Unless your name's Jonathan Gannon. It's a good day for you. Maybe.
Lonnie Ossenfort. Let's run it back, Steven.
Yeah, watching that game yesterday, all I kept thinking to myself was, man, just run it back. We're so close. So close. Come on back, folks. Second hour main event coming up next. And we're back here, second hour main event. Oh, my stuff's all in the way here. We let some people borrow some of our equipment last night. Everything's a little bit off here as we're getting it all set back up here today. Dale will be back with us in just a minute. As he talked about, he wants to talk Suns, which we'll get into later on as well. We kind of talked ASU there, with Sam Levitt, but we'll talk more about the transfer portal with this Kentucky kid coming in onto the program, the quarterback, young kid. Looking at his highlights, now it's Kentucky. It's the SEC, and he performed admirably. And we all believe that Kenny Dillingham can do good things with quarterbacks. Of course, we saw that with Sam Levitt and everything. But the thing that I've got for Dale, and the question that I have is, I saw conflicting reports going into the Sun Bowl and talking to people around the Sun Bowl going into that game that said Kenny Dillingham was taking more of an offensive approach and more of an hands-on with the offensive play calling, et cetera, over Marcus Arroyo. I haven't been on the Marcus Arroyo needs to be fired bandwagon, but I've been like there's problems with the offensive play calling. Red zone offensive play calling specifically. It was a big problem this year for the Sun Devils and everything. And as Dale joins us again here in the second hour, of course, 17-year NFL veteran Dale Hellestrae here on the program with me, your humble host, Stephen McCollum. Second hour here. But the offense of the Sun Devils looked open. It looked more free. It looked it was not as predictable in the Sun Bowl. I think Marcus Arroyo is somebody to watch, and he might not be your offensive coordinator going into next year. Or if he is, he's going to be kind of an assistant with Kenny being more hands-on approach here coming into next year. That's the other thing out of the Sun Bowl that caught my eye. During the game even, I saw conflicting reports from a couple people. Sun Devil Source and Devil's Digest both put out conflicting reports. One saying that Marcus Arroyo was sending the play calls down to Kenny. Kenny was sending it into the quarterback. And then another one that said Kenny's making the play calls over Marcus Arroyo. And then after the game, we find out Kenny was more involved on that side. I thought the offense looked better. I again, though, changes. My point is changes.
Is that a foreshadowing to what you really want to get into?
Changes.
Yeah.
It is amazing. It was amazing to see the difference. Even if you were just watching that game and you didn't have that info, you noticed something was different about this offense in the Sun Bowl. Now, it could be Duke's monumentally bad defense, but you noticed something was different. And it does give you hope moving forward that at least Kenny Dillingham recognized.
Right.
Maybe our offensive coordinator's not getting the job done. Maybe we do need to make a change or look at this and try something different. from that perspective from there. So that is the other thing that I did enjoy watching there at the Sun Bowl that I wanted to mention.
Yeah, I thought I thought for a game where you're missing some of your best players in a kind of a meaningless quote unquote game for a lot of people.
I can tell you this: Duke and ASU weren't treating it as meaningless.
Well, and what I guess what I always go back to is the fact that for a lot of these guys, because I've never been to take all the bowl games away because they're meaningless. The only thing that counts is the playoff.
No, I agree with you.
Is because 98% of these guys, when they play their last college game,
they're done.
That's their last game.
Yeah. I think bowl games need to stay. It's just they need to it's not going to be like teams like Notre Dame. Those guys aren't good because it's playoffs or busts for those types of teams. Other than that, you keep the bowl games for everybody else. Like most of the Big 12, I hate to break this to you, most of the Big 12, you're not ever going to play in a playoff game. So you got to keep the bowl games for those schools and that type of stuff. But if you're like if you're Notre Dame, if you're Alabama, I can understand.
I was going to say the bottom half of the Big 10, SEC, Big 12.
They're never playing in it.
But then 3 years ago, Indiana was one of the worst all-time programs ever.
So that's my point. They're the one that popped up.
Yeah.
Northwestern's not popping their head up to the playoff level. And if they do, it'll be a surprise is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
And so that's why Northwestern would like to play in a bowl game because it's not meaningless for them. And I say meaningless because that's what – and when I say meaningless, I don't mean – and we saw some of that this year where guys just didn't want to play in bowl games.
Right.
I'll give Arizona as the example, Dale.
Yes.
2 hours before game time, you get word that 5 of their starters all of a sudden are not playing in this game. 5 hours before the game. Not 2 weeks, not 3 weeks, not a month ago. 5 hours before the game, you reading that 5 of their starters decided to sit out this game.
So they wanted to go take the trip to San Diego, spend the 4 or 5 days there, everything paid for, and then say I'm not going to play.
And then be not there. That's what I mean by meaningless at that point. It's not meaningless once you get there. UTSA had 20-something kids out because of transfer portal reasons, and they went and won their bowl game. So but I mean meaningless. I just mean for the top. They're making these bowl games meaningless by focusing on these college football playoff games. And you can have both for teams that don't get there. It's just be aware. Alabama's, Notre Dame's, those schools that expect to be in the college football playoffs, they might not go to these bowl games anymore.
Right.
That's all. That's what I mean by meaningless and stuff to that effect. And then the amount of kids with the calendar that sit out because of transfer portal issues and things to that effect are kind of amazing to see. But in terms of the Arizona thing, I was really – okay, and I equate everything around ASU because they're a local team up here, obviously, and I was close to that this week at the Sun Bowl. Even the kids that weren't at that game were on the sidelines cheering their teams on and stuff to that effect, right? And you can have that. And I just felt like Arizona was just like, oh, we're here. The fans were excited to be in San Diego.
Yes.
But the team, and Brad Brennan, he has no control over that team like Kenny does up here. And what I mean by that is the kids just do what they want at Arizona. And Kenny got the right kids there and stuff. That's kind of the impression I got with the Arizona kids sitting out. The fact they didn't show up for the first 4 quarters, 3.5 quarters.
3.5. Well, first 2.5 quarters.
Yeah. Well, then SMU had such a big lead. I kind of feel like they kind of.
Oh, they took their foot off.
Yeah, they kind of were like, all right, we're having fun in San Diego now. Let's go on to it. It ended up being 24-19 or whatever, but that was because of a last-second touchdown by Arizona.
Right.
That was kind of disappointing outing for me, and that tells me, and I'm not a big Brett Brandon fan, so take this with caveat. That tells me you don't have the right guy down there in Arizona, man. I don't think he's the right guy anyway. But
what's he 1-1 against ASU now?
Yeah.
What's Kenny against U of A?
Isn't he 2-1? No. Yeah, Kenny's third year. Yeah, he's 2-1. He won both times in Tempe and lost in Arizona, lost in Tucson. Well, that doesn't matter. That's separate because ASU has more to play for. They don't pay attention to that final game of the year. No. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's an interesting look back and forth. Arizona is more typical of all the other programs out there. ASU's the anomaly. Where the kids were there, even the kids not playing were there, and hyped up and playing. In Arizona, I just felt like, oh, we made San Diego. Oh, let's just look at our future now and move on. I find it interesting to see. You want more of a Kenny Dillingham type coach than you do a lot of these other coaches out there. It's not a knock. The other coaches are more prevalent. That's more of the style out there that you're looking at there. But yeah, your SMU beat Arizona. I picked Arizona in that game, not realizing nobody knew 5 guys were.
I had a premonition.
Did you?
No.
I do like SMU's that quarterback though. They got a good one there.
He's pretty good. He'll make some turnovers though in inopportune times. Plus, you gotta like their uniforms.
I do like the dark blue and everything.
Yeah.
They look nice.
I looked really good.
So we went to dinner that night, and I was like, "Oh, I forgot the game started." Tuned in, and it was like 14-0. I was like, "All right." Then after dinner, I turned it back on, and it was like 24-6 or whatever, and I was like, "Oh, well, this is stupid." Glad I didn't waste my time watching this.
Everybody get along on your vacation?
Yeah.
Any good fights? No fights?
No.
Ethan and your daughter?
No, they'll have record ones, but they'll have epic ones. But no, not at all.
Okay.
No, well, we get along good. You do just enough just keeping things at distances that or it's me going, knock it off.
Stop touching him.
none of that actually.
Okay.
Now that you bring it up, kind of shocking. Because I was threatening people. It does crack me up though. I mean, you probably get this too. So we're walking down. If you don't know, the trail down into they have elevators you can take down, but I wanted to be a man this time. And I got a bad hip, I got bad ankles and everything. But I'm walking down this thing, and there's a couple of times now where I was like, man, I'm gonna go down. Like my hamstrings are just my thighs are just shaking, you know. As you're walking down, you could feel the pressure on your ankles, you know, and everything. And I'm like, I'm gonna go down in a second. I'm gonna go down. And then here comes Ethan, 17-year-old Ethan, walking by me. My feet hurt. And meanwhile, I'm just trying not to fall over. And I'm like, I just need to rest for a second. Give my legs a break. And then you got a 17-year-old walking by. My feet hurt. I hate this.
It's nice and cool.
I need a break.
It's nice and cool in the caverns.
Well,
isn't it?
I was sweating like a mofo. I can tell you that. It was hot for me. My body was like, what are you doing to me right now? There was this guy coming up the track. And I was like, oh, man, we're going to have to go to these emergency phones here in a minute. That guy looked like me coming back up, just huffing and puffing and everything. So anyway, college football playoffs. Miami's still alive. I don't have the graphics. I forgot to give them to the guys, but we'll do it tomorrow. But we're back to regular schedule this week. Bruce Cooper tomorrow, 8:30-ish for him. Lou on Thursday, of course, back at 9 o'clock. We got NFL playoffs coming up. We'll talk about that in just a minute here in this hour as well. But college football playoffs, Thursday night, Fiesta Bowl over there in Glendale.
Now, I wonder when the teams come in.
See, with it all screwed up now. Usually it's a week in advance, but...
Yeah, because that's like when it's the Fiesta Bowl, it's just a Fiesta Bowl. But when you're it's more of a business trip.
Yeah, you come in, land. You're not here for the swag.
No,
and stuff
you're
like
probably
you
not going to
before.
the zoo. And
Well, I mean... Well, here's the thing. If you're Ole Miss, you want to get here as soon as possible. Because you want to get out of Oxford as quickly as possible.
Yeah, hey.
But if you're Miami, you're not in a hurry to get to Phoenix, are you?
Wow.
I mean, I woke up that morning with that Miami game, and I was like, I've never been more confident ever in my life that Miami's winning that game. You just had this feeling. Carson Beck. Here's the other thing. They got to figure this out. I don't understand why we can't finish the season and then just start the playoffs right then. We could be done with the college football season as of January 1st, January 2nd, January 3rd, depending on how the calendar goes. This bye is hurting teams. Period. End of story.
Well, because really,
it's hurting teams.
You have that week off anyways because Army Navy stands alone.
Yeah. So take a week off and then start in 2 weeks and then have guys start playing.
Yeah.
So the most you have off is 3. You're playing that third week. You have Army Navy off, and then you have your first round guys playing. So if you have buys, so you're playing within 3 weeks.
Right.
You can't take a month off with guys playing in between. It is an absolute disadvantage to do that.
To be off that long.
And it showed with Ohio. Well, Ohio State had, if you don't know, and this is why I was confident Ohio State was losing that game. Ohio State had play calling issues leading into the Big Ten championship game where they got destroyed by Indiana. And they didn't fix them. It was question marks on who was going to play the offense, who was going to call the offensive plays, whether it was going to be Ryan Day, if it was going to be the other guy. There were question marks going into that and everything. And I don't think my thought process was Ohio State's not going to score more than maybe 14, 20 points in this game. And Miami, as long as Carson Beck didn't turn over the football, is going to score a lot of points in this game. That was my thought process going into it. And it wasn't as many points as I thought, 24 for Miami. But Ohio State's offense is not all that talent on that offense, Dale. And they cannot produce these last couple of weeks. It's an amazing thing to watch.
Well, and to me, the other thing, you kind of just touched on it, but the fact that the teams that had a bye, none of them won last year. Now, last year was a different seeding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But even this year, one and
1-3.
1-3.
1-3. But last year, Boise State, ASU, even though they weren't the top 4 teams, got a bye.
ASU beat Texas. The refs kept it from happening.
But this year, the only team that actually won the game that had a bye was Indiana.
Yeah, and they blow socks off.
Yeah, but Texas Tech gets shut out by Oregon.
Yeah.
The Miami-Ohio State game wasn't really that good.
No.
And Ole Miss, Georgia was fairly competitive. But, no,
Yeah, but Georgia made mistakes. I don't know if they make those if they didn't have a month off.
Yeah.
You saw Georgia. You saw a couple players from Georgia when the third quarter start to go down on just routine hits. Your body is not taking a big hit in a month.
Right.
You're not in conditioning for the regular season, and you saw them kind of have those issues. They got to fix that. There's no reason you can't wrap this up by the beginning of January and keep guys playing every. Here's the other thing. Do we need to see NFL on Saturday? No. So you could just keep the college football playoffs going on Saturdays. Until the championship game, move that to a Monday night or whatever. But there's no reason you need months off. And now the other bowl games can still happen in conjunction with it.
Well, you could have the playoffs on the weekend on Saturday, and you could have the other bowl games during the week.
Traditionally during the week, right? Wednesdays, Thursdays, whatever, Christmas days, whatever. It's just I don't get what we're doing, and it's a complete disadvantage, and it's stupid.
Well, because the thing about it, and I this is really the first year. I don't remember hearing it last year when NFL started going to Christmas Day games.
Yeah.
This year I heard a lot of moaning and groaning from NBA people. Yeah. Hey, the Christmas Day is NBA.
Oh, no. This year, the conversation switched. The conversation this year was we should just have Christmas off and spend with our families.
It was either or.
Yeah, but a lot of that conversation started happening. Whereas last year, there's actually audio tape of LeBron James. He's the one that was like, we should have Christmas off and spend it with our families. Whereas last year, he was like, this is what we do. We play on Christmas. We own Christmas. So it's interesting to see. So playoff games this week, Fiesta Bowls, Thursday night. That's the other thing. I don't like Fiesta Bowl on Thursday night. Doesn't this feel kind of like this should be and I know I got NFL playoffs this weekend, but shouldn't this be like a Friday, Saturday type event? And not a Thursday, Friday type of event, and then 10 days off before the championship game. I just don't get it. I don't get what we're doing. I don't get it. Stupid.
Well, I'd like to have a team that I was rooting for in it, so I can bitch and moan a little bit more.
Well, that's for sure. I like. Oregon's going to get destroyed by Indiana. Indiana's winning this championship.
You think?
Oh, Indiana's. Is there a team even close to Indiana?
I don't.
But then. Ole Miss is running into a wall because they're starting to, the people that are going to LSU that were allowed to stay at Ole Miss, they're starting to leave now.
Yeah.
I think this is the end of Ole Miss, and I think Miami's going to end up in the championship game possibly coming up. We'll talk more about that. I would actually, because Ethan was like, are we going to go to the Fiesta Bowl? And I was like, we should probably go to that game. And I'm like, we'll have to look into it. And then I'm like, yeah, but Ole Miss, man, this could be a monumental blowout on Thursday night.
See, I just put myself in a player's mode.
The players won't care, but you know as well as I do.
But
coaching matters.
As a player, I want to stick it to Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, right.
I want to stick it to him.
Don't you want to stick it to LSU because LSU's paying Lane Kiffin's bonuses? So I guess he just qualified for a $500,000 bonus for winning that playoff game.
Oh, really?
And LSU has to pay it to him. Not Ole Miss. That was part of his contract.
Yeah, so you get a double whammy.
You want to go win the championship so you can hurt LSU even more.
And not only that, but hey, coach, we liked you, or you're a good coach, but we still did things without you. So That's how I would approach.
Yeah, well, from a player's
player.
perspective, but you know as well as I do. Um, you know, when you start losing your coaches and new coaches, they do things differently. That's the best way to put it. It doesn't mean it's bad, doesn't mean it's good, but you're used to certain things being called at certain times. You're used to certain blocking. Now you got this new coach going, well, your other guy told you to do it this way. Well, I want you to do it this way going into a game. And you're just like, adjustments during the game. I don't get it. Dale, do we have any updates on NFL coaches firings? I do know I've seen some coaches safe here. We know Stefanski was fired this morning from Cleveland. He's going to end up with the Giants, just so you guys know. But Stefanski there with the Browns was fired. Raheem Morris was fired last night, even though he finished in a tie for first place in his division with an 8-9 record.
Yeah.
He's won 16 games in his 2 years of coaching the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah. Jonathan Gannon's won 15 in 3 years with the Cardinals.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Is one owner a little bit more ambitious?
I cannot figure out. Now the Falcons are reportedly hiring Matt Ryan as a president of football operations. I cannot figure out how the Falcons cannot figure out this head coaching position. Falcons have so much talent. And 2 coaches now, since Bijan's been drafted, they have not figured out how to utilize him in that offense to score just a boatload of points a game. They can't figure it out. And it's just, what are you doing? Go get an experienced coach that knows how to work with these guys, right? Of course, Dable and the Giants and the Titans fired their coaches earlier this year. Zach Taylor with the Browns is safe.
Bengals,
excuse me,
yeah.
is safe.
And evidently so is...
That surprises me.
So is your boy here in Arizona.
Well, okay. I put this out on Twitter last week. When you see national guys walking up to the line, not saying he's definitely safe because they have to give themselves an out, but walking up to the line saying he's probably safe, meaning Gannon.
Right.
And when you see multiple national people reporting the same thing, they're being fed that from the organization.
By the way, so we can throw him in the conversation, 1 minute ago, Pete Carroll.
He's out?
After 1 year.
Not a surprise. I think that was a terrible...
It was a terrible year.
Terrible year for him. I had more hope for him, but also the team and the ownership there. So.
Right. I mean, at some point, if you don't change the ownership directive, the head coach doesn't have a chance.
And that's the problem in Raiderland right now, right? And so I saw Davis is trying to sell another 15% of the Raiders.
Really?
He's just trying to cash in. He wants to be in control and make as much money as he possibly can out there. So okay, so he is
he's gone.
He's gone. Pete Carroll is out. I saw somebody else was safe earlier, and I'm trying to find it here. Let me look it up here. Sorry, everybody. I apologize.
By the way, it's crazy in Cleveland. You fire the coach, 2-time coach of the year.
Yes.
Stefanski.
Yeah.
But you're going to keep the general manager who signed Watson.
That's what the Giants are doing also. They're keeping their GM, who's put together a team that's won. They like the young core he's put together. He's got 15 wins over like 6 seasons or something. It's weird. It was the Falcons. That guy, the GM for the Falcons, they let him go as well. He's drafted Bijan. Like, you look at his draft picks, man. It's named guys that are doing well in the NFL. The coaching's that's kind of letting that down. It's amazing to see who's keeping and who's getting rid of guys and stuff of that effect. It really is. I saw a letter from another team, and I'm trying to find it here, and I cannot find it. So we're just keeping our eyes on that.
Was that from Brown in Cincinnati explaining what they were doing?
I saw that one, but there's another one out there. There's another letter out there also that I thought had to do with the team.
Well, John Mara and Steve Tisch in New York said they're going to keep the general manager.
That's what it was. They're keeping it's official.
Joe Schoen.
The rumor came out last week that's what it was. The Giants saying that they were there. So the news is coming in huge and fast here on that side. So I'm not surprised that Pete Carroll's out. Well, so let's ask you, what are the Raiders? Who's going to go coach at the Raiders?
Yeah. Well, again, so now how many people is he paying? paying the ASU guy.
Yeah.
Now he's paying, because I'm sure that Carroll signed a 5-year deal.
Oh, at least a 3-year deal, at least, which means 2 more years. Yeah.
So
the coaches don't sign for less than 5-year deals these days.
So that's probably why he's trying to sell another 50% stake in the Raiders.
Having to do it. I was reading that whether Cliff Kingsbury gets a head coaching job in this cycle, or I've been reading he's out in Washington. How do you hire a guy to be your head coach if he's about to be fired in Washington as the offensive
coordinator?
Like, how do you justify that?
Because last year at this time, he was the toast
guy
of the town.
Yeah.
They went to the NFC Championship game last year.
He had 2 quarterbacks in their rookie years win Offensive Rookie of the Year. You know that? Kyler Murray and Jaden Daniels. And he's out. We'll keep our eyes on all this and everything, obviously, as we keep moving through it. But you're seeing franchises like Falcons, 8-9, 8-9 for Raheem Morris, tied for first in his division with his win yesterday, folks. If they would have beat the Jets, they would have actually made the playoffs. That was a loss that did them in there late in the year. You see coaches doing that, and then you just keep hearing. And these national guys, when you see all the national guys saying the same narrative, they're getting fed that from the team.
Yes.
The team is feeding it to them. They aren't. Adam Schefter is sitting wherever he lives. He isn't sitting there going, I think the Cardinals are going to be safe. He's being told that. They do not go to press. They do not go to TV unless they are being fed. And that information comes from inside the teams. Which means, to me, Gannon is safe. I tweeted that out earlier. You cannot have this many national guys saying the same thing without it being said out there. And they will not burn national guys on news like this. So the Cardinals insiders are not, Mark Dalton, are not putting this out to Schefter and Ian Rappaport and those guys just to fire him today.
Right.
Because that would look really bad for them in terms of that stuff. And then yesterday they started walking back a little bit, the offensive coordinators. Substantial change. You noticed that in yesterday. So I started retweeting out people posting the pregame, because I don't watch the pregame stuff.
Right.
People started putting out there that maybe injuries might keep Penzing safe. Injuries might keep Rellis safe.
Well, I've also read stuff where they just run it back because of all the injuries.
Yes. I will agree with that on a certain extent. Okay, injuries to me are not an excuse. Not an excuse. Period. End of story. Look at yesterday. The Rams offense, who are playing for a 5 seed, which is a big deal for them because you get the Panthers as opposed to the Eagles.
Yeah.
You want the Panthers every day of the week, right? So the Rams want to win that game. And just look how much Puka is just wide open downfield. Look at that offensive movement on that offensive side, and then watch the Cardinals offense. Michael Wilson had to make some spectacular plays. That one guy that we don't even know his name, 45 in the end zone, has to make a spectacular catch as a tight end to make it because they don't scheme their guys up. Meanwhile, every Rams receiver is running around like there's nobody else on the field, Dale. It was just nauseating to sit there and watch that happen yesterday.
Well, what's even more nauseating is we were watching, it was every catch that Puka made. He was drafted in the 5th round.
Yeah, I know.
And then we get Shades over there on the sideline missing another game.
Oh, Shades.
And then you got Michael Wilson.
Harrison Jr.
What was Michael Wilson, a 3rd-round draft pick?
Yeah. Oh, I have it. Let me see if I can find this stat real quick on Michael Wilson.
I mean, come on now.
And not existent in his whole 3 years until this year.
Yes.
I can't find it. Did you know he had games this year where he had like 1 or 2 catches.
Yeah.
He's still over 1,000 yards.
Oh yeah.
And remember when he had that big breakout and the Marvin Harrison Jr. came back for that game? They didn't even look at him like once or twice.
Yeah. Well, somebody did the
that's what I'm trying to find.
The prognostications for a 17-game season with Brissett at quarterback.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find.
It was like 1,600 yards.
Best receiver in the
like
league.
12 touchdowns and all these things. Like
that's what I was trying to find.
Yeah.
I didn't save it. I saw it earlier. Yeah, no, you have your wide receiver 1. Period. End of story. If Marvin Harrison Jr. comes back on this team next year, He's wide receiver 2. Period. End of story. It's not even a question mark at this point.
You would hope not.
But here's the problem. Do you have faith the Cardinals are going to do that? Because I don't. And then yesterday, they get up to they're picking third in the draft after Giants won and all these other teams won. They're picking third in the draft now because they lost yesterday. And people are excited about this. Their first-round draft picks the last 3 years. Calf injury before camp this year. And then, of course, a knee injury later on in the season. I'm not going to fault the knee injury later on. That just happened. A calf injury going into a camp. Last year, Darius Robinson, calf injury going into camp.
Yep.
You want to talk about the number 4 draft pick there?
Overall.
Yeah, number 4 overall. Guy just doesn't want to catch a football anymore. Period. End of story. Guy just doesn't want to catch a football. He's like he's afraid of it.
So
You're excited about the 3 pick, Dale?
Are you going to be satisfied with the Cardinals' only changes being they fire their trainer?
No. They need. If you even went to one offensive meeting this year, even if you're the janitor,
you stuck
if you stuck your head in an offensive meeting, you're fired today. I don't care if you're a DoorDash driver, you delivered lunch to the coaches working on offensive game film. You're fired from DoorDash today because you were around the offensive system.
I literally did not look at their roster before the game, but my brother and I were watching and we're like, who is that guy?
I know.
And,
well, 45 got that touchdown.
Yeah, who is
and
that
they
guy?
said his name. I was joking on Twitter like,
who is that?
I'll leave it to you to guess who this guy is. Joking around on Twitter. By the way, Pete Carroll signed a 3-year deal last year.
Okay.
As well. So here's the problem. You get the number 1 draft pick, and you need a quarterback because they need a quarterback. They need a lot of help there in Raiders land. And then the number 2 pick, who slipping my mind right now, they need Jets. They need a quarterback as well. I'm a firm believer on if you get that high of a draft pick, and you're going to go get a quarterback, you have to have a coach that's going to grow with that guy and have faith in him. So you need to blow your coaches out and move on. What do the Cardinals need this year, Dale? Maybe. Quarterback. You can't have Jonathan Gannon selecting a quarterback. It's going to set you back. Period. End of story. I'm going to tell you right now, Dale, my prediction is, are you ready for it?
What's that?
Kyler Murray is going to be your starting quarterback next year going into this.
Run it all back, Steve.
If Jonathan Gannon and this coaching staff is back, Kyler Murray is going to be your interim quarterback for 1 more year. Want to bet?
I don't want to bet that because that's the way it's looking.
Who else are you going to go get? Look at the free agent quarterbacks out
Yeah.
there. You go through the list of them. They're not an improvement. You're Kyler Murray, whether you like him or not, is a top 15 quarterback in this league. 15, 16 maybe, 14, 15, 16. You're not going to find somebody out there. The Sam Darnolds aren't out there with this coaching staff, folks. Now, you get rid of your offensive coaching game and you bring in an experienced offensive coordinator, different story. I'm talking about right now if you don't get rid of Penzing and the boys. Who are you going to hire? Now you might have faith in those guys, right? You go out there to get a Ben Johnson type offensive coordinator that's looking for a change? A Matt Nagy? Maybe one of these head coaches that's getting fired as an offensive guy wants to come to Arizona and relax for a little bit and be an offensive coordinator for a year before he starts interviewing again? Yeah, I'll listen to that guy choose his quarterback. But I'm not going to listen to Jonathan Gannon pick a quarterback. And you're not going to get one better than Kyler Murray. You're not going to get one better than Jacoby Brissett, probably. You need somebody that can call plays and scheme guys open and have faith on that side. And I just have no faith the Cardinals are going to get that side of it as well. So it's going to be interesting to see. Now, I'll tell you that Jonathan Gannon meets with the media at 2 p.m. today. Standard practice. Cliff Kingsbury was scheduled to meet with the media. Of course, got fired beforehand and gone. If Jonathan Gannon meets with the media today at 2, Dale, he's safe. Telling you. And now it doesn't necessarily mean he's safe. Raheem Morris yesterday got off that podium yesterday and hugged Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons. And they hugged each other and talked for a little bit and everything. And he still gets fired later on that night. Doesn't mean anything.
But if you're giving a 2:00 press conference.
Press conferences are different.
Yeah. The day
Press conferences-
after.
Yes, the press conferences are different.
You had to do
You
the
let
one
him go
last
up there
time.
and talk, unless you're like, well, if he screws up this press conference, we'll get rid of him. If he doesn't, he's not.
I'm on the edge. I don't know whether I'm going to fire him or not. Oh, you screwed up your.
The problem that Michael Bidwell has here, and this is different from any other year, including the Steve Wilkes year, different than any other year, the end of Cliff Kingsbury, the fans were turning on Cliff Kingsbury because they couldn't win in December. They couldn't win in November. His attitude, right? His stuff like that. The fans were turning on him. If Michael Bidwell brings back Jonathan Gannon, which he's going to do, folks, because he's fed the info to the national media already to set you up for it, this fan base is going to turn on this Cardinals franchise like you've never seen before. And that's a decision that Michael Bidwell can make. And that teams don't do that, man. Teams bend to their fan bases. Ticket sales, jersey sales, negative media. Michael Bidwell watches, and maybe not him, but he has people in his franchise. I'm telling you right now, he's got people in his organization that watch people talk about him on Twitter. You guys tweeting out on Twitter, not just media people, to get the pulse of everything.
Yeah.
They see the emails of people talking to their ticket agents and everything. They all gets reported back to them. And if all of that negativity, 'cause I can tell you right now, there can't be a lot of people saying, bring him back. We love Jonathan Gannon. Bring him back. That's going to tell you your owner just doesn't care anymore. And that's going to send a decisive message to your fan base that you don't care and we don't care about you as a fan base. And that is a decision you don't see too many NFL owners make to go against that grain of salt. They usually bend to that stuff.
We've talked about it all during the season when they started this big losing streak. The fact that there's been no
Which
NFL, there's been no NFL coach who's made it to the fourth year without making the playoffs.
All you're doing is you're extending this to fire them halfway through the season.
What do you?
Why?
If you sit down and look at it, take all emotion out of it. Just look at football, the coaching, the on the field product. You bring this entire coaching staff back, or say you make them fire.
Well, let's say
whatever,
everybody's gone
coordinator.
except for Jonathan Gannon. Let's throw that scenario because that is a distinct possibility.
And then again, what does that tell you about Jonathan Gannon? Say, yeah, I'll fire everybody but me.
You're gonna go work for a guy that doesn't have your back.
There's a guy named Jack Del Rio who kept his job alive for about 5-6 years by firing everybody else. Not too well respected in the business.
That's the problem. Is he kept his job, but
Yeah.
people would not go coach with
No.
him because of that. And he's not well
But
respected.
I'm
to this
saying
day.
to be realistic, say Michael Bidwell's looking at this, take all emotion out of it, ticket sales, fans, whatever, just on the field product, and you say, Jonathan, you need to get a new offensive coordinator. Okay? Get a new. What can you possibly, in your mind, look at from yesterday to the beginning of next season to go, this guy gives us a chance.
Yeah.
This guy, you can say, yeah, we had some injuries. But, is a running back coming back? If he does come back, I mean, he's old.
Connor.
Connor.
He's 31,
What
32.
what positives do we have coming back? Kyler Murray being healthy again? Does he give us a chance to make a run next year?
Not with your receivers.
But then you look at it, and you should have good receivers. You
That's
have
my
the best
point.
tight end in football.
That's my point. Michael Wilson is what you thought Marvin Harrison Jr. was going to be, so that's a wash.
And if Harrison becomes your number two, that threesome right there, that's as good as any in the league.
I agree.
But it didn't produce results on the field.
Yeah. And disastrously went backwards.
And who
if you just look at this from a pure football perspective, there's zero reasons to bring Jonathan Gannon and his coaching staff back. Zero. Just from what convolutes this is paying other head coaches, right? Another head coaching change. Because keep this in mind. I had a boss one time that just kept moving people around. Wasn't firing him, but would be like, oh, he's not working out. I knew he would. And eventually, you know what his boss did? His boss moved him out of his position. You know what the boss actually said when he moved him out? He he's just not happy. He can't find this. He can't find the right people into the spot to where he's happy with that spot. He doesn't judge characters enough to get somebody into that role and keep them there. As an owner, you get judged on that stuff too. A new head coach every 1-2 years, every 1-2 years, every 1-2 years.
Yep.
Eventually, somebody's going to be like, "Hey, can't find the right person. It's on you at this point, right?" Type of purely football perspective, this coaching staff should be fired, and it shouldn't even be a question mark. They should have been fired yesterday. Like that clock hit 0. Hey, coach, I need to speak to you before you go in there. Let's talk.
Hey, let's maybe we'll stay overnight in L.A.
Yeah, exactly. Let me buy you a nice steak dinner. Bring your fish. Jerry Maguire reference there as well. Here's the problem, Josh Weinfurt. So you see how the national people out there, talking about this. All similar narratives yesterday, leading up to the last couple of weeks. Jonathan Gannon is believed to be safe. Then yesterday you saw Michael. I think it was ESPN Schefter, maybe it was Ian Rappaport, maybe on NFL Network, saying things like, well, it's not set in stone that he's coming back, but it's leaning that way. Michael Bidwell likes him, and injuries are a big concern here. Well, if the injuries are safe light and an excuse for the head coach, why isn't it for the offensive coordinator? Why isn't it for the defensive coordinator? I'm just throwing that out. Why can one guy escape because of injuries and the other guys cannot?
Well, that's why I'm saying you probably should brace yourself that the biggest move they make this year is they get a new trainer.
Okay. Josh Weinfurt, who works for ESPN, but he is the Cardinals beat writer.
Yeah.
So national program, but he's local here. He goes to every practice, every game. We won't hold it against him that he's an Indiana fan out there, because he's bragging about that all over the place as well. He said that here's his exact words. Here's what I'm hearing heading into the Cardinals season finale after talking with a number of sources. First paragraph. There's a general belief that Jonathan Gannon will return in for the 2026 season, mainly because of how injuries absolutely decimated the roster, and Bidwell doesn't want to pay another coach not to coach. Now, the Kingsbury's offset, he does still paying him, but it's not that much because he's making good money in Washington,
right,
type of thing, right? So you do have some offsetting, but you're still paying out money and stuff like that. Don't forget, Jonathan Gannon has 2 years left on his contract. He signed a 5-year deal when he originally got here as well. Here's the thing that hit me like a load of bricks. Because you talk about it. This team, look at this team compared to the Rams, Seahawks. Let's just look in division. Rams, Seahawks, 49ers.
Do we have to?
I challenged you last week, Dale, to look at the Niners, and I said, take Christian McCaffrey away from the Niners. Name me another playmaker. And we were all like, well, Christian McCaffrey's really good. Yeah, you're right. Cardinals do not have a Christian McCaffrey type player.
Right.
But the Niners have a lot of players that you would put in the category of Cardinals players. Guys you don't know. Guys you've never heard of. The whole linebacking core. Not just, if you started the season as a linebacker with the 49ers, you finished the season on IR.
And again,
that means they had a replacement guy. 7 guys were down for the linebackers for the Niners. They're down to the 8th, 9th guys that weren't even on the team at the beginning of the season playing for the Niners the other night.
And we're not talking about starters. We're talking about potential Hall of Famers.
Yes, exactly. And it's just like, what? Yeah, Fred Warner coming back for the playoffs is going to be disaster for somebody out there when the Niners are playing coming up. But then, we talk about this. The roster isn't as deep as you thought it was. They won last year with a lot of heart. I brought this to you guys' attention earlier this year. Gardak, right? Kazir White on that defense. Just heart guys. They don't have the best talent out there, but my God, do they work their butts off to do the right plays and make themselves noticed. We should not know Dennis Gardak's name, to be honest with you. His talent is nowhere near a Josh Sweat or Darius Robinson or any of Walter Nolan III. Those guys are better talent players than Gardak. And several times this year, I found myself saying, I wish Gardak was still on this team.
The only reason you would know Dennis Gardak because of that long hair, you'd probably look him up and go, hey, who's that guy with the flowing hair?
But he made you look at him on the football field. And you didn't see that on the defense this year, right, with the talented guys out there. So Josh Weinfurt goes on to say this. And this is his quote. The current roster has been described to me as a preseason roster. Sources said it's no secret just how bad the roster is, and while the public sentiment may be one thing, the private is another. A preseason roster. Who does that fall on?
Monty Ossenfort.
The 49ers had a ton of injuries. A lot of guys you've never heard of are playing for the Niners right now. How many wins do the Niners end up with this year? 12.
Playing for the number 1 seed last game of the season.
And now we're being told the Cardinals have a preseason roster. They did have a preseason roster last year. You improved this team this year in depth. And you're going to feed us that this is a preseason roster now? What?
Well, you know what they're setting you up for.
Yeah, I know exactly what they're saying.
They're setting you up for, we're going to make a change at trainer, and that's going to solve all our problems.
Yeah, Penzing's problem. By the way, last year when they won 8 games, we had problems with Penzing last year on this offense. This isn't a new deal. He also goes, so this is shocking me. That floored me. That sources are telling Weinfuss, the beat writer for the Cardinals, a preseason roster. Excuse me, what? He also goes on to say there's belief that the offseason will be all or nothing. This basically, he's saying what you're saying. Changes will happen throughout the coaching staff, or it'll be quiet and they'll run it back with both coordinators. They're setting you up for this. Bro.
Yes.
The Cardinals organization, inside that organization, is feeding this stuff to reporters to get you prepared to what Dale is saying. There's going to be minimal changes this year, folks. That makes me want to vomit, Dale. And it goes on to this. I was thinking the Kyler Murray, that you bring Jonathan Gannon back, there's a distinct possibility Kyler Murray is your starting quarterback. I don't have a problem with it. You're not winning a Super Bowl next year, regardless of who the quarterback is, but he's your best option. He just really is, folks. Cardinals have screwed this up so bad, they have 0 option at quarterback next year. 0. Unless it's a guy off of a scrap heap, and you hope he turns into Kurt Warner.
Right.
And there is no Kurt Warner guy out there.
Does not look like
going into this year. So Josh Weinfuss says the conversation about what to do with Kyler Murray will happen in the next couple of weeks. You bench the guy. You have him practicing. Takes the ball off the face. Hurts his foot. He's scheduled to come back for the Dallas Monday Night Football game. He's been practicing leading up to that. There's video of him running full speed in practice. Then you start feeding stuff after 4 weeks of missing games. You start feeding stuff to the national media about his foot and how, it's treacherous. He could re-injure it really badly. Never a walking boot. Was practicing at full speed beforehand. No surgery. No nothing. Jacoby Brissett comes back. You put him on IR. Or Jacoby Brissett's doing well. You put him on IR. Move on. And you mean to tell me they haven't had a conversation on what to do with Kyler Murray?
No, Steve, you're grinding to beat the Rams. How are you going to have time to talk about next year when you're still fighting this year?
You know what you're doing with Kyler Murray at this point. Whether the potential to keep him. Was there a conversation a month ago? Okay, Kyler, we're having a bad year this year. Let's save you. Put you on IR. You enjoy the rest of this season. You go to Oklahoma, watch them play in their bowl game and the championship game, whatever they were doing. You go do that. We'll say you have the flu for the last home game. You can take a picture of yourself relaxing on a boat. You go do whatever you want to go do. We'll see you in March, buddy, for OTAs.
But see, here's the thing.
We're not going to win anything this year. We're terrible. Let's go ahead. We'll see it. We'll see it in March or April.
Their hand might be forced. Also, the fact that nobody's going to give them anything.
They're not trading for Kyler Murray for anybody.
And these people go, I bet they could get a second-round pick for him. No.
Not with that contract.
No.
The only chance you have of Kyler Murray being traded is a team like, I've said it before, Cleveland. It's like, we can't get a quarterback like Kyler Murray in free agency, so we need a trade for him. That's the only way you're getting a trade for Kyler Murray. Other than that, folks, he's going to have to be released. That means you're getting a $40-something million hit on your cap, which we know the Cardinals aren't willing to do that, etc. Then the final thing you hear is, right, Nick Rallis, the defensive coordinator, has made some boneheaded mistakes this year in terms of play calling, but he's had a depleted roster. His defense has been out there a ton this year, tired, etc. Not only that, his head coach is a defensive-minded coach, right, Dale?
Yes.
First time this comes out, Josh Weinfurt says there's a concern about how DC Nick Rallis deployed his personnel this season, namely having Josh Sweat drop into coverage with an injured knee. One person I talked with suggested Gannon could take over play calling duties. Why didn't Jonathan Gannon take over play calling duties during the season?
Well, he only had that little piece of white paper he holds over his mouth.
I'll tell you why. Because Jonathan Gannon didn't want to take it over and have the defense continue to be bad. So now he's got an excuse. Hey, it's not me. I'll take over play calling. This defense will be better. We need to get rid of Nick. Save my job. It's interesting that that's coming out. When did this come out? Yeah, last night, 6:35 p.m. It's interesting that that's the first time you're hearing Nick Rallis' name in that type of a conversation talk. There's a reason for it. They're setting you up. They're setting you up as a fan base for all the reasons why everybody's coming back. I firmly believe what you believe, Dale. They're not making changes. Jonathan Gannon, after the game yesterday, said changes happen. Changes need to happen. Changes are going to happen. Not so sure about that.
Well, the one defensive coach is going to Ohio State, right?
He's even watched that back. Michigan State, but he's even walked that back. He's still coaching for the Cardinals.
Yeah. By the way, what I was doing was looking up Deshaun Watson's contract.
They say he's going to be ready to play at the beginning of the season.
He's got $46 million coming this coming year.
That's it?
Yeah.
They say he's going to be a starting quarterback come the start of the season. That's a man that doesn't want to play football anymore. I talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. not wanting to play football. Deshaun Watson, I'll put money on it now. He'll play a couple games and then get injured and be out for the season again. He just wants his guaranteed money. Is where he's been. I felt that in Houston when he was there and everything to that effect. So, this is a disaster about to happen with the Cardinals is my point here. Zero hope. Fan base is worn out and tired. Fan base doesn't want to be there anymore. Fan base doesn't want to support this team anymore in its current interaction.
And don't forget this. They're not in the NFC South.
Yeah, throw up the deal. What Dale's about to say. Keep talking, Dale. Throw up the
they
NFC
are
West
in the
standings.
NFC West.
I don't know what you're talking about. They're close.
All three other teams, minimum 12 victories.
I don't know what you're talking about. They're close. Look at that. 191 net points for the Seahawks. 172 for the Rams. Niners slacking there with 66.
Yep.
How close are the Cardinals? This is the problem. He's won 3 games against his division in 3 years. Minus 133 net points this year. Going to this. You're not even close. At a bare minimum, when you're this bad, you have to sell fake hope to your fan base. Firing this coaching staff and unloading them and getting them out of it and resetting this timetable is going to give fake hope to your fan base. But fake hope is better than no hope.
Hey, just look at the coaches. That McDonald in Seattle probably going to be coach of the year.
And you didn't know who he was when they hired him.
No, but they got the right guy.
Exactly.
The guy in Los Angeles. Everybody knew who he was.
Well, when he was first hired, everybody was like, you're taking your chance on a 30-year-old head coach?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Then you got Shanahan in San Francisco.
Who's an offensive genius, but nobody expected
But
this.
you literally could win 8 games next year if you're the Cardinals, and you're probably still not going to sniff the playoffs.
Yeah, but you won't be eliminated in late November this year. You'll make it till December this time. This is the problem. You're anti-competitive just in your division,
Yes.
let alone anywhere else in the National Football League on top of it. Raheem Morris and the Falcons were dead to water this year. They got eliminated almost as fast as the Cardinals did. Still finished with 8 wins.
Yes.
Texans had a terrible start to the season. There was talk that C.J. Stroud wasn't going to be extended this year as he's eligible for his rookie extension. That's how bad they were playing. They're in the playoffs.
Well, and DeMeco Ryans was supposedly on the hot seat, too.
The Colts started 8-2, 7-2, 8-2, and then just fell apart. Injuries killed them and fell them apart as well. They're keeping their coach and their GM going into next season. And they flat out said injuries and you can look at the Colts and say yes, but they were good at one time. Remember when we got rid of Cliff Kingsbury because he would start the season and be 7-2 or whatever, and then falter in November, December for like 3 years in a row, like 2 years in a row.
Well, in a couple years at Texas Tech.
Yeah, and we were like, all right, we got to find somebody better, and we've gone backwards. Since the bye week last year, I told you, Cardinals were 6-4. They're 5-19. This isn't a injuries this year problem, folks. Since the bye week last year, 5-19. They started losing last year.
Well, and
that's the problem with this. This isn't an injury-plagued year. This isn't only this year. This is an anomaly. They were 6-4, and they're 5-19 since then. This is a multi-year issue the Cardinals have.
When you look back on it, because I did see somebody bring this up, and I thought I might have said it the day after that Tennessee game.
Yes.
That literally they had to try to give away.
Yes.
How is this going to affect the rest of the season? Because this, in my mind, had the a possibility of not only losing that game, but losing more games.
Yes.
I never saw this coming. I never saw winning one more game the rest of the season. But it's
not even being competitive in any of those games.
It's just.
Yes. Here's the other side. Cardinals are 2-19 in the last 3 years when Kyler Murray wasn't on the field. They're 13-17 when Kyler Murray plays. They're 2-19 when he doesn't. Regardless of what you say, and I get it, folks. Kyler Murray's not taking you to a Super Bowl. I get it. It might not even take you to the playoffs. I get it. But they're downright terrible without him.
And would you take mediocre? 500's mediocre.
I'll take 7 to 8 wins any day over 3 or 4. I've sat through a lot of 4-loss seasons.
Hey, but Steve, you have not told everybody the good news. You at least signed that 3-year contract for your tickets, so you're not getting bumped up this year like everybody else is for 3 and 14 teams.
I know. I didn't have a 40% increase. Yes. One more year to go. Look, I've had season tickets since 96. I've told you guys this. I've sat through a lot of bad seasons. I've never once been like, I'm going to cancel my. I have them for other business reasons and stuff to that effect. And everything. And they have a good year every once in a while that gets you excited, and then they suck again after that. This year, it's different this year. And that's the thing that Michael Bidwell, if he retains Gannon and this coaching staff, that's the thing that Michael Bidwell doesn't have his pulse on this town or what's happening to his team. It's different this year. Jonathan Gannon's press conference yesterday was infuriating again.
Did he say they're going to get back to work today?
Gotta get ready for the offseason. So 2 p.m., he's meeting with the media. Obviously, pay attention to that. There is a slight chance they will let somebody go talk to the media and then fire him afterwards. But the odds are astronomical for that to happen.
No, if he's at the podium,
99% chance he's 99% he's coming back. There is a slight chance. We've seen it before where coaches have been fired after the press conference, but it's rare that it happens out there. Hey, so you want to see some, just as we wrap this up, and then we'll hit some Suns up here. I know we started about, 10 minutes late today because we had to relog in at first of the year. We had to relog in. Like every software was like, please log in, and we didn't have all the codes handy and stuff. So I apologize for that. But Cardinals' final wide receiver stats. You want to tell me they have talent on this team, Dale? Michael Wilson, obviously, 78 receptions, 1,006 yards, and 7 TDs. Second on this list is Marvin Harrison Jr. How bad of a year did he have this year? Was it worse than his rookie year? 41 receptions, 608 yards, and 4 touchdowns. for a number 4 draft pick that was going to change the way the NFL receivers conduct business out there. Greg Dortch, who's missed most of the season, was third last half of the season. 29 receptions, 206 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Zay Jones, before he got hurt, 12 receptions, 183 yards. Xavier Weaver had 7 receptions and 67 yards. You have one receiver on this team, Dale. Period. End of story. One receiver. There's no talent here. Tight end stats. Obviously, Trey McBride, 126 receptions, 1,239 yards, 11 touchdowns. Higgins had 30 receptions, 301 yards, no touchdowns for him. You do expect a big drop-off there, but Trey, obviously, and Wilson, they're your 1-2 punch going into next year. If we hear in the offseason, whoever the coaching staff is, if we hear in this offseason, oh, they've got Wilson and Trey, but Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to come back this year, start vomiting all over yourself. Because that narrative's coming, folks. That Marvin Harrison Jr., oh, he's healthy finally. He's finally healthy. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to wreck this year. Start vomiting at that point. Final running back stats. Michael Carter, 92 carries, 333 yards, and a touchdown. D. McCarter, 44 carries, 312 yards, 0 touchdowns because he dropped the ball one time when he was going to score. Bam Knight, 82 carries, 269 yards for him, 4 touchdowns for Bam. Then you got Trey Benson, 29 carries, 160 yards, and then James Conner, both lost early for injuries, 32 carries, 95 yards for them. Big drop-offs there for them, for those folks. Dale,
good luck to you, Steve.
I don't know how we can't. You can't find a way to keep these guys other than injuries. But then you can look at stuff that says it started before the injuries last year. I don't get it. Good luck to you, Michael Bidwell. I wish you the best of luck.
Well, I wish the best of luck for the Valley fans.
We should all just, I'd say we should become Vegas fans because that's a quick 4-hour drive up to Vegas 8 times a week, but they suck. Maybe we all become Rams fans. Chargers fans? They'll become Chargers fans.
Easier to get a ticket.
I'll rent a bus every Chargers home game, and we'll just start taking a bus to L.A., go to the game, and take a bus home. We'll have a driver and everything. We're going to become Chargers fans, everybody. Chargers fans, here we come. Let's do it.
Pick a team. Well, and again, you're in this company. I'm just reading about Vegas. They're going to keep the general manager they brought in last year.
And he's terrible.
Go hire Pete Carroll.
Yeah, I know. Get it. Well, Giants GM staying. Falcons got rid of their GM, and he drafted well. Obviously, coaching issues. Robert says, why would the Cards be ranked in order of best jobs if they fire Gannon? He says probably near the bottom. It's got to be toward the bottom, right? Them, Cleveland, and the Jets, which Aaron Glenn seems to be on the side of coming back, which, again, I don't understand that. As a defensive coach, 0 interceptions, defense regressed all year, need a quarterback. I don't understand keeping him going into this year either from that perspective. But, I mean, it's Browns, Jets, Cardinals are the bottom 3 teams that you would want to. And Giants have a young core, so the Giants have a little bit of hope.
Yes.
Jackson Dart, right? Scatterboo coming back.
Vegas and the Cardinals are kind of in the same boat.
Yeah. Owners. Well, at least Davis, isn't. I told you, Mark Davis has no desire to win there in Vegas, and they're not giving him a reason to win there because his games sell out. Because the casinos own a majority of the tickets. People go there to watch their visiting teams play. He's going to sell out the Raiders suck or not because other people are going to go there. Arizona used to be that way. Now we're not. Vegas is kind of taking that mantle.
Yeah.
And that's at least, got to admire a guy to take advantage of that, I guess, as we talk from that side. We'll talk more playoffs and everything tomorrow when Bruce Cooper comes in. We got some good matchups this weekend. Some bad ones, but some good ones as well. But Dale, your Suns last night.
How about my Phoenix Suns?
Beat the best team in the National Football League last night.
National Basketball Association.
Hey, want to see Devin Booker's game-winning shot?
Well, I saw it last night. I would look at it again.
Let's check it out again. Devin Booker, folks.
Looking for Booker. Caruso defending. Booker eyes the clock. Sun spreading the floor. Book raising up. Fires. Boom!
Adam Schefter, forget about Booker for a second.
Yeah, we can.
Adam Schefter, Ethan tagged us. Kobe just said it in our ears. Adam Schefter says Cardinals have fired Jonathan Gannon.
So that we just wasted 20 minutes.
Is this? Sorry, waste your time. Well, is this the real Adam Schefter site?
Well, Ian Rappaport's also
saying it.
Ian Rappaport's saying it too.
Okay. You know what went out in this? Michael Bidwell's taking the pulse of the fan base and everything as well. That's the bottom line here. Michael Bidwell took the pulse of everybody because they've been feeding the national media for weeks that he's safe. And they made this move early today at 10 a.m. That means that the pulse was taken. You know,
now, let me say this real quick.
Okay.
I never cheer for a guy to lose his job.
I'm not cheering for that reason.
I feel for his family, and his wife and kids, but he's going to be, I promise
it's
you.
the assistants.
He's going to be just fine. He's got 2 more years at whatever, $7 or $8 million.
Pensing's going to have to go back and be an OC in Cleveland or something.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for him. No, in all seriousness, I agree with you. I'm not celebrating him getting fired because of the life changes for him and his coaching staff, stuff like that. I'm actually floored right now. They've been feeding us nationally.
He's coming back.
That he's coming back. They just burned all of those.
Here's what I wonder happened, because here's in my mind. They obviously were meeting since early this morning, and I'm sure Michael and his crew wanted to hear Jonathan Gannon's plan for getting them back on track. And Jonathan Gannon's going to say, I don't want to make any changes. And I can see Michael going, there's got to be changes. You've got to get rid of your offensive coordinator. Then you keep your job. And Jonathan said, I'm not firing any of my coaches. You can fire me. I have a feeling something like that's going to come out.
You think so?
I think something like that's going to come out. Because they've probably been meeting since about 5:30 this morning.
But here's the weird part of this. Here's the weird part about this also. Up until Saturday, Jonathan Gannon was like, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. When coaches are on the hot seat and don't know, they don't talk like that. Stefanski hasn't been like, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Raheem Morris hasn't been like, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. You beat around that bush a little bit. Oh, in the offseason, we're going to have to talk about that after the season. Here's why I should come back. Jonathan Gannon was flat out, I'll see you guys on Monday. I'm more on the side, Dale, of Jonathan Gannon thought he was safe. It's something Michael Bidwell has been getting feedback from fan bases. The emails that are going out there, you've seen them on social media if you follow social media and stuff. People not wanting to renew. How many people didn't renew?
Yeah.
You're giving your fan base a 40% price increase and saying you're going to run it back. Look, I haven't said it this strong, but now that he's gone, I'm going to say it this strong. I hate Jonathan Gannon as a head coach. Hate him. His smugness, his standing on the sideline with his arms crossed, his lack of wanting to make any changes, acting like nothing is wrong when it's the fire's burning around him. I have learned to hate it. And if I'm feeling that way as an outside guy, could you imagine being in the room with him and him being like, oh, I have confidence in myself?
But tell me this.
You'd want to smack the guy.
Here's the thing that I'm trying to satisfy my mind. Because in August, late August.
I love Jonathan Gannon.
In late August, we all did. Program's going in the right direction. Him and Dillingham, the two best things we got going on here in the Valley.
But you know as well as I do, You can be the nicest, most perfect person on the planet. And then when something goes wrong, your true self comes out. I think we saw the real Jonathan Gannon with how bad this season went. I think we were fooled the last couple of years because things were going in the right direction, right? So I think when you find out the true person, it just turns out you don't like it. No other coaches act like him. None of them. Nobody acts like him.
He's unique, Steve.
Yeah, and I hated every second of it.
Not every second.
Well, this year I've hated every second of this year.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. I had to start listening to his press conferences like 2-3 hours after they happened to get ready for the show. Because if I listened to it right after the game, I was gonna wreck into somebody or something. I just drove me nuts and stuff like that. So if you're missing the breaking news here right at the end of the season, first of all, thank you, Cardinals, for doing this now as well. But Jonathan Gannon has been relieved of his duties here at the Arizona Cardinals now. Hey, maybe he'll go back to the Eagles. So anyway, Suns won. Dale, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we can talk
We
about
got bigger
that.
stuff
Yeah.
now as well. Good thing we started the show late today because of the technology issues, so we could get that. Otherwise, we would have been off air. I'm not gonna lie to you, Dale. I'm floored by this. They were setting us up. National media, everybody was setting us up that it was being run back. I just read you the whole Josh Weinfurt stuff, and all along in my mind, I've been putting it out there. You can't come back with these guys. And everybody's telling me they're going to. I'm floored Michael Bidwell did this. I'm just floored by it.
After the 3-5 start, they'd beaten the Cowboys to go 3-5.
By the way, they were 2-0. That's because there is a difference between being 3-5 and you win every other game or something. No, they were 2-0, folks.
But they're 3-5, and then they lost 9 in a row.
Yeah.
And a lot of blowouts. Well,
and blown out fashion as well. Well, this, like I said all along, if you just go off of this had to have happened because of on the field stuff. You weren't competitive in games. You can blame injuries all you want. Who hires the training staff, by the way? The owner didn't hire the training staff,
head coach.
right? Works close
Not
with them
just,
and all
now,
that.
do you think that Michael Bidwell will do Jonathan a solid and give him the $100,000 back he fined him earlier in the year?
No. That's going to be my lasting impression. Like, I have a lot of lasting impressions of Ken Wisenhunt that I didn't like too.
Yeah.
Very similar to Jonathan Gannon. To be honest with you, it's a meaner dude, just a meaner dude. But if I have a lasting impression of Jonathan Gannon, it's literally going to be the only emotion we've seen out of him.
In 3 years.
When he went after D. McCarter on the sideline. And that bothers me. It's just no emotion anywhere else except for that moment. And like I said, that tells you that's his true character at that point. That's what bothers you the most. So official head coaching openings as we finish up the show here with that breaking news. Giants, Titans, Falcons, Cardinals, Browns, and Raiders. Here's the interesting thing about this. Well, here's the other side. I mean, if you're Monty, because Monty's not going to survive another year of bad. Now, Monty, assuming he survives this, I don't think there was ever talk of Monty going.
No, it's
always been
It
Jonathan
said that he's
Gannon.
going to lead. He's going to spearhead the
Okay.
coaching search.
You have to give I believe firmly in giving your GM 2 chances to get it right. You mess up your first time, all right, let's fix it and go with it. I do believe GMs deserve that chance. But if Jonathan Gannon came back next year, Monty would be out with them halfway through the season, right? With how bad it would be. Now this gives Monty another 2-year window probably to make those changes and stuff to that effect as well. So good. Oh, it did say Monty's going to spearhead it then.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Monty's parents, we get to see you next year still. Maybe I might talk to Monty's mom last time I saw her at that last game. And I said, hey, you tell your son to tell Michael Bidwell he needs to stay and find a good coach for this team, and the coaching staff needs to go and advocate for that side. You tell him that Steve McCollum said so. Maybe she passed that along to Monty, and Monty went into Michael's meeting and said, Here you go. Because you also got to factor in, I mean, Monty's got to save his job too. A lot of people don't think about that. Like GMs are trying to save their job also with these moves and how they hire people and justification and stuff to that effect. Any breaking news here on that front as we end up the show?
That is it. Other than I keep on refreshing ESPN, and they still have Raiders fire Carroll, so not even ESPN cares about the Cardinals.
Well, Schefter's got to take time to
Type it up, yeah.
To type it up and everything like that. So there we go. Cardinals made a move. And again, I want to be clear on this. This move happened. I will believe this until I get proven otherwise. Michael Bidwell listened to the fan base. And what I mean by listen to, he wasn't taking calls and stuff. He saw the outrage. He saw the uproar. It works, folks. It works out there. If you're turning on your team this way, and they did as well. So I firmly believe that's a positive here out of this in terms of you're the fan base. He saw how downtrodden it was getting, and
Yep.
Owners have prides too, folks. Just remember that. Going to that, Jonathan Gannon out. So are we, Dale. Tomorrow, Bruce Cooper comes in. Maybe he might be out, skateboarding right now, celebrating a little bit. Got Gannon's out of the job as well. So, is it Dale? How hard is it going to take that statue down off the sideline though? That's the hard part. It's going to be a big process. See you tomorrow, everybody. Macoma Business coming up at 11. We're back. See you in a few, folks.